Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler with your daily forecast video for today for November 2025. In today's video, we will examine the weather across the United States as well as the specific forecast for the Hampton Roads, Virginia cities. I will also do a quick update on some of the key teleconnections as well as the polar vortex and the Madden-Julian oscillation. Let's take a look and examine what's going on in the sky. I just snapped this shot here over Hampton Roads, Virginia. Just a deep, deep blue sky. Just a beautiful, beautiful early November afternoon across the area. We have temperatures in Virginia Beach generally around 62, 63 degrees. Our high temperature today was about 64 degrees. And then we have high pressure to the west, which is producing these kind of skies where it's absolutely clear, deep blue color, indicating very dry air in place above the ground. For today's video, the main weather headlines are going to be the following. We will see breezy and milder conditions tomorrow on Wednesday, the 5th of November, ahead of the next cold front. Gusty southwest winds are going to be expected. They'll take place tomorrow. We could see wind gusts above 30 miles per hour, generally across southeastern Virginia, and we will see high temperature near 70 degrees. It may even get a degree or two warmer than this 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon based on such strong southwesterly winds. Now, it will be sunny and cooler on Thursday, this Thursday, the 6th of November, because we're going to have a cold front, which will be offshore and to our east. So we'll be behind the cold front, which will come through late Wednesday night. And on Thursday, it'll feel much different, where we'll have high pressure in control and cooler air mass, temps near 60 degrees for the high on Thursday afternoon. There'll be a milder period with temps into the lower 70s for the upcoming weekend, Saturday the 8th of November and Sunday the 9th of November. There will be some showers possible on Sunday the 9th of November, right along a strong cold front as it gets closer to our area in southeastern Virginia. And then behind that strong cold front, we are expecting some big, big changes. Coldest air of the season arrives next Monday, the 10th of November, as well as next Tuesday, the 11th of November. That would be Veterans Day, next Tuesday, the 11th, with a deep upper level trough over our area. And that chill may linger for the majority of next week, right on through next Friday, the 14th of November. Looking at this afternoon's current visible satellite imagery, showing some higher clouds generally to the north of the Hampton Roads cities there across parts of the southern portions of Maryland, as well as the southern portions of the eastern shore. We do see these higher level clouds generally stretching back to West Virginia, parts of southwestern Virginia into Kentucky. Overall, for Hampton Roads cities, as I showed you in that opening slide, just absolutely deep blue, clear sky in place. For Hampton Roads down through the Carolinas, looking absolutely gorgeous for early November, as well as into parts of Alabama and Georgia. Much of Tennessee, especially eastern Tennessee, is also seeing just a beautiful, beautiful setup with clear skies. We do see the weather observations here on the right for this afternoon. We are looking at some light west-southwest winds at the Norfolk International Airport, generally about 10-knot winds from the west-southwest. The temperature in Norfolk International Airport over the past hour here, about 3 o'clock Eastern, was 63 degrees. Look at the dew point, 29-degree dew point there at the Norfolk Airport. 64 degrees in Richmond with a 25-degree dew point and a west-northwest wind at 10 knots. Calm winds at Charlottesville. Air temperature of 63 with a dew point down to 26 degrees. For Roanoke, we have a northwesterly wind at about 5 knots, so very light winds in Roanoke, Virginia. General air temperature 65 with a dew point down to 23 degrees. A very dry air mass stretching all the way back into Kentucky as well. We do see some slight increase in the dew points into the lower to upper 30s across eastern Kentucky, as well as a dew point around 40 degrees there in eastern Tennessee. But in general, very dry air mass in place across Virginia and the Carolinas this afternoon. Looking at the temperatures nationally here on the 4th of November at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, so this would be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do see some milder temperatures there across Southern California, Southern Arizona, where temperatures in the lower to middle 80s. We also see some warmer temperatures across the areas of West Texas and Eastern New Mexico. In fact, the Panhandle of Texas, the current temperature is about 86 degrees. Another patch of warmer temperatures across western Nebraska, temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s. Cooler temperatures there across North Dakota, back towards Montana, northern Idaho, and eastern Washington state. We see temperatures generally running in the 40s, a couple 30s there across Montana. And then we see 62 in Chicago at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, about 65 around Des Moines, Iowa, 68 degrees in around Omaha, Nebraska, 72 in St. Louis, 75 degrees around Kansas City this afternoon. And we see some milder temperatures across the deep south, New Orleans at 72 degrees, Mobile at 73, and even far southern Alabama, there's 77 degrees this afternoon. Cooler temperatures across the mid-Atlantic, generally lower to middle 60s, from Virginia northward up towards Maryland, even into the low 60s there, 62 degrees in Washington, D.C., and 50s there into Massachusetts. Looking at the forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left for tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon, the 5th of November, we see greens and purples indicating upper level troughs. And with these troughs, we see colder temperatures and unsettled conditions generally associated with precipitation. So we see a trough across the northeastern Pacific with the trough axis extending to the south there, just west of Washington State and Oregon. An upper level ridge builds from the Colorado area northward into the western portions of Canada. A closed upper level low will be positioned just to the northwest of Hudson Bay across far northern sections of Canada. A trough axis generally extending into parts of the upper Great Lakes. A deep closed upper level low will be positioned generally to the northeast of the Canadian Maritimes across the North Atlantic Ocean. We see a upper level trough digging south with the trough axis south across the North Atlantic. The right-hand side, tomorrow afternoon, 5 November 2025, preset forecast. Green colors rain, blue color snow. We see some rain and unsettled conditions ahead of the shortwave trough off the Pacific Northwest coast. So we see quite a bit of rain for tomorrow afternoon across northern central California, much of Oregon and Washington state. We do see some snow up into southwestern Canada for tomorrow afternoon. Generally dry conditions from Wyoming down to New Mexico. Colorado looking dry. There will be a 1029 millibar surface high positioned right there across central Nebraska. On the front side of this strong 1029 millibar high, we have a clockwise flow and northerly winds, bringing colder temperatures into Minnesota tomorrow afternoon, Wisconsin, parts of Michigan. We do see a surface low pressure system generally in the vicinity of Toronto, Canada, and some rain showers generally across southeastern Canada over towards the southern sections of Maine. Looking good tomorrow afternoon, generally from Virginia southward to Georgia and Florida, looking great. New Orleans and Houston looking good. Dallas looking great. Oklahoma City, Topeka, Kansas, you're looking great as well. So get out there and enjoy this beautiful early November type weather. Now, there will be a frontal boundary that will be approaching from the north, generally going to be located across parts of Jersey down into northern Maryland, southern Ohio, southern Indiana, southern Illinois by tomorrow afternoon. And this front will push through the Hampton Roads, Virginia cities tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Looking at the forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left now for this Thursday afternoon, 6 November, we have green colors indicating upper level troughing across the northeastern Pacific. We see upper level ridging just to the east of the troughing across western Canada, extending far to the north towards the Arctic area. We also see now much higher heights building into Greenland for Thursday afternoon, the 6th of November. We have a closed upper high, and we have strong upper level ridging extending east to west across Baffin Bay. A closed upper level low will be positioned across Hudson Bay, and we'll see a deep closed upper level low as well just to the east of Nova Scotia, and another deep closed upper level low and trough extending across the North Atlantic. So we have a case of higher heights to the north, from Greenland across the Arctic area north of North America, and below normal heights to the south of those higher than normal heights. We do see general west to east flow for Thursday afternoon from southern California right on through Texas into the Carolinas. Over on the right-hand side, precipitation forecast for this Thursday afternoon, 6 November 2025. We see more rain moving into parts of the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, all the way down to northern California. Some more rain moving in. We do see some higher elevation snows across northwestern Wyoming, parts of northern Colorado, parts of western Montana and Idaho. Additionally, we see some scattered rain showers in the lower elevations in Idaho, western Montana, and parts of northern Colorado. A 1001 millibar surface low pressure area will be located in the southern province of Saskatchewan. There across Canada, we do see some blue colors to the north of that low pressure, the colder air, where we're seeing some snow across south central Canada. Now notice this, we've got a 1024 millibar surface high pressure system in the vicinity of Cleveland, Ohio for Thursday afternoon. On the east side, east of this surface high, we have north and northwesterly winds advecting or bringing in colder, chillier temperatures across New England from Pennsylvania to Maine. A chilly, breezy day across New England for Thursday. Meanwhile, high pressure building in nicely into the mid-Atlantic, Virginia, and the Carolinas, resulting in much lighter winds and a chilly early November day. On the backside of the surface high pressure over Cleveland, we're starting to see southerly and southwesterly winds moving in towards Minnesota and Iowa, Wisconsin and Illinois. So we're going to have some milder air returning to the north there from Texas towards Wisconsin for Thursday afternoon. Looking at the forecast temp anomalies on the left for tomorrow afternoon, 5 November 2025, showing well above normal temperatures in the orange, blue colors below normal temperatures. So we have some slightly cooler than normal temperatures into Northern California tomorrow afternoon. We do see a well above normal temperatures from Nevada to Idaho to western Montana, Wyoming, as well as the Four Corners area there, as well above normal temperatures across western and northern Texas. Temperatures are going to be running 14 to 16 degrees above normal in Texas and the northern and western portions of the state. Also above normal temperatures from southeastern Missouri through southern Illinois towards Indianapolis, up towards Dayton, Ohio, as well as Cleveland, and warmer than normal temperatures tomorrow afternoon with more of those southwest winds cranking generally across western portions of Virginia, running 10 to 12 degrees above normal. Along the coastal sections of Virginia, including Hampton Roads, our temperatures will be running 5 to 6 degrees above normal for tomorrow afternoon. On the right-hand side, forecast temp anomalies for this Thursday afternoon, 6 November, well above normal temperatures across eastern Montana, the western Dakotas, down to western Nebraska, eastern Colorado, parts of New Mexico, as well as Texas into Oklahoma. You notice up here, Montana, the Dakotas, temperatures will be running 15 to 20 degrees above normal by Thursday afternoon. Over on the East Coast in New England towards the mid-Atlantic, we have below normal temperatures. Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, down to North Carolina, and then expanding much cooler temperatures, 5 to 10 degrees below normal across New York State, as well as Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Looking at the forecast, 5 and millibar height anomalies on the left for this Friday now, Friday, 7 November, showing upper level troughing, closed upper level low south of Alaska, trough axis extending back to the southwest across the northeastern Pacific. Meanwhile, we have a closed upper level high that is going to be positioned generally over the southeastern portions of the North Pacific Ocean. We have a little bit of ridging poking up there along the immediate coastline of California in just offshore of southwestern Oregon. Blue colors indicating troughing stretching from the British Columbia province of Canada, Alberta, southern Alberta province down to Montana. And we see a trough axis, a deep closed upper level low over southern Hudson Bay with a trough axis extending to the south across the Great Lakes area, upper Midwest, right on down to eastern Iowa, western Illinois for Friday afternoon, 7th of November. Notice all the orange colors on this graphic on the left and the light brown colors indicating well above normal height anomalies at the 500 millibar level in the atmosphere. So this is associated with upper level ridging, the oranges and brown colors, and that ridging is generally located well to the north, Baffin Bay, Greenland, Baffin Bay westward into the Arctic Ocean area. We see that closed deep upper low beneath this above normal heights there. We do see a deep closed upper level low as well positioned south of Greenland with a trough axis extending to the south across the North Atlantic for Friday afternoon, the 7th of November. Precipitation forecast here on the right showing low pressure generally located in the southeastern portions of the Alberta province of Canada with some snow extending generally to the northwest of that. We do see some rain and snow showers across parts of western Montana, Idaho, into western Wyoming. Dry conditions for Friday afternoon, the 7th of November for California, New Mexico and Arizona, Colorado looking dry as well. Texas, you're looking good, as well as Kansas, Oklahoma to Nebraska. Dry conditions across Iowa. We do see a 993 millibar surface low pressure system on the eastern shores of Lake Superior, and we see a cold front on Friday now stretching from western New York State into the Buffalo area down near Erie, Pennsylvania, through Columbus, Ohio, down the Ohio River, there across southern Indiana and western Kentucky. Now, right along that cold front, we have a line of showers and even some potential heavier showers from western Kentucky up through southern Ohio. Out ahead of that cold front on Friday afternoon, we see moderating temperatures across Hampton Roads, Virginia, as well as Pennsylvania and New York State. Quite a breezy day there. Pennsylvania, New York State, southwesterly winds return ahead of this cold front, which is approaching from the northwest. So milder air will move back into parts of New England. Looking at the forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left for this Saturday, the 8th of November, 2025, showing a closed upper level low south of Alaska. We have that ridge, or correction, that trough, excuse me, the trough axis basically oriented more northeast to southwest across the north central Pacific Ocean. We do see upper level ridging now building along the immediate coastline of the U.S. West Coast from Northern California through Oregon, Washington State, and Western Canada. Much stronger and well above normal height anomalies in Greenland, Baffin Bay, up towards the Arctic area, north of North America. We have a bullseye. I like to call this feature up here in the far north the Ridge Bridge, because the upper level heights from the North Atlantic side merge with the building upper level heights from the Pacific side, and you get very anomalously high heights, very warm temperatures, above normal type temperatures there beneath this ridging and these anomalously high heights. We do see a closed upper level low across the southern shores of Hudson Bay with the trough axis extending southward into Minnesota, Iowa. We're starting to see a digging trough now across the Midwestern U.S. for Saturday afternoon. That's going to be a big player in our weather going into early next week for Hampton Roads in the Mid-Atlantic. A deep closed upper low with a trough axis extending to the south will generally be across the North Atlantic, just to the southeast of Greenland for Saturday afternoon. And over on the right-hand side, precipitation forecast for Saturday afternoon, 8 November, snow moving into western Canada, but beneath this ridging now across the western U.S., you see the orange colors on this left-hand graphic, California, Oregon, Washington, and the western portions of Canada. It's dry beneath that ridge across the U.S. West Coast. We do see a 1,004 millibar surface low across northern Missouri with some rain showers on Saturday afternoon across eastern and central Iowa. Some snow actually falling there to the far northwest portion of the low, generally across west central Minnesota into northeastern South Dakota. We also see some scattered snow showers into southeastern and eastern Canada. We do see some scattered rain showers for Saturday afternoon, 8 November, across parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Dry conditions across Hampton Roads for Saturday afternoon, right into North Carolina, and some scattered showers generally across Vermont, New Hampshire, into portions of southeastern New York State, and into Ohio. And that's going to be right along this new strong cold front that's taking shape across the Midwest. Looking at the forecast temp anomalies on the left for Friday afternoon, 7 November. Looking ahead of this cold front that's developing, we're seeing a surge of much milder conditions from Texas all the way to Iowa, Illinois, southern Wisconsin. In this zone, the central U.S., we're looking at temperatures running anywhere from 11 to as much as 15 degrees above normal. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, southern Wisconsin, all in this zone, going to be running well above normal. We do see milder temperatures streaming in to parts of West Virginia and western PA, including you and Pittsburgh. And we see above normal temperatures across the southeastern U.S. Above normal temperatures will also be located 10 degrees above normal in Nevada, as well as 6 to 10 degrees above normal in Arizona. Colorado running 4 to 8 degrees above normal for Friday afternoon. Cooler than normal temperatures, 2 to 3 degrees below normal across parts of eastern North Dakota and northern Minnesota. And we see cooler temperature anomalies across New England from Maine down towards Connecticut, where temperatures will be running anywhere from 6 to 10 degrees below normal. Near normal temperatures for the Hampton Road cities by Friday afternoon as the air mass modifies. High pressure at the surface moves offshore. The winds begin to turn around more to the southerly direction for Hampton Roads in southeastern Virginia. On the right-hand side, forecast temp anomalies now for Saturday afternoon, 8 November. Above normal temperatures continue across southern Oregon down through California, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, western Colorado, and Arizona. We see much milder conditions now streaming from southwest to northeast, from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, right on down to Houston, Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. We see temperatures running anywhere from 12 to as much as 17 degrees above normal from Texas to southeastern Missouri ahead of the approaching cold front on Saturday afternoon. We also see much milder air streaming up the eastern seaboard from South Carolina, North Carolina into Virginia, New Jersey, eastern PA, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area up towards Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as Massachusetts up towards Maine. We're seeing temperatures surging 8 to 10 degrees above normal from eastern Virginia to Maine along the coastal sections of the Mid-Atlantic and New England. Looking at the forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left for this Sunday, 9 November 2025, we see a closed upper level low, generally to the north of the western Aleutian Islands into the Bering Sea. Upper level ridging builds in, generally poking its way northeastward into the Gulf of Alaska. And then we have troughing, generally located across the far eastern sections of the North Pacific. And a closed upper high will be located across Southern California with a strong ridge axis extending to the north across the British Columbia and Alberta provinces of Canada. But look how far north this orange color extends all the way up to the Arctic area. And again, well above normal heights there across Greenland, the central portions of Greenland, and the Baffin Bay. When you have these above normal heights over the top, I call over the top, this ridge bridge, you're going to have some colder temperatures and troughing at the mid-latitudes beneath this anomalously higher than normal heights. And sure enough, as this ridge builds into Western Canada, associated with a positive PNA, we see a deeper trough digging with the green colors there, a closed upper level low in the southeastern Hudson Bay there, and that trough axis, it means business on Sunday afternoon. Temperatures are really going to drop across the upper Midwest towards Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, parts of Pennsylvania. This is going to be quite a deep trough, and it's going to produce the coldest air mass of the season for the eastern U.S. On the right-hand side, this is the precipitation forecast. Beneath the upper level ridge across the western U.S., it's dry. It's dry across that area, and we see a 1042 surface high pressure system now taking shape across parts of the Manitoba, southern Manitoba province of Canada. We see colder air, these solid dark lines, they're packed close together. That indicates lots of wind. So clockwise flow around this strong 1042 high, going to bring in very, very cold air across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri. Very strong cold air advection in the Midwest for Sunday afternoon, and even some snow showers across Minnesota into Wisconsin, the UP, and Michigan. We do see some rain showers generally across parts of eastern Indiana into Kentucky, and we also have a 1,000 millibar surface low pressure system across New York State with the cold front now approaching southeastern Virginia on Sunday afternoon, and we're seeing some rain showers out ahead of that cold front. This is what I meant in my main weather headlines. We could see some scattered showers ahead of this strong cold front and this digging upper trough. We look at the forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left for next Monday. Now, this is next Monday, the 10th of November. We still see a closed upper low across eastern portions of the Bering Sea towards western Alaska. Troughing is not as deep, but it still is there across the northeastern Pacific into the Gulf of Alaska. A closed upper level low would be positioned generally across the southeastern North Pacific Ocean Upper level ridging, anomalously above normal heights across the western U.S., Nevada up to Montana, Wyoming into Colorado, well above normal upper heights. And look, the feature still remains here to the far north, Greenland over towards the Arctic Ocean. We're seeing well above normal heights. This is an association with a negative North Atlantic oscillation, and beneath that very strong anomalous ridging to the north, you're getting a deep, closed upper level low there across southeastern Canada with a deep trough axis extending generally to the south across western PA, western portions of Virginia, down through the Carolinas, and even to the parts of Georgia. You're going to feel this cold air mass really hit, and even on the Gulf Coast states down to Florida next week. We look at the preset forecast here on the right for next Monday, 10 November 2025. We generally see some scattered showers across western portions of Washington state up into far southwestern Canada. We also see a 1041 millibar surface high pressure centered over Oklahoma City, and just the clockwise flow around that strong high. You're going to have very strong northerly winds pushing all the way into the Gulf of America. I mean, look at the blue dashed lines here. This is an indicator of atmospheric thicknesses from 1,000 to 500 millibar surface areas. This is lower the thickness, the colder the temperatures, and you clearly see we have unsettled weather, even some snow across parts of eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, Asheville, and the western sections of North Carolina. So it could be the first snowflakes, really, for West Virginia down through eastern Kentucky and western or eastern Tennessee, rather. Could see some rain showers across parts of central Virginia, down into central North Carolina. And generally, you're going to have some snow showers next Monday afternoon across southeastern Canada. Looking at the forecast temp anomalies on the left for next Sunday, or correction, this Sunday, this Sunday, the 9th of November, 2025, well above normal temperatures, 13 to as much as 18 degrees above normal across the western U.S. in the orange colors. Look at the green colors here. We're talking 10 to as much as 16 degrees Fahrenheit below normal from the eastern Dakotas into Iowa, as well as Illinois and Missouri. Here comes the cold air outbreak. And we do see ahead of that cold front, just to the east of the surface cold front, we're going to see a surge of milder conditions into southern Georgia, the Carolinas, up to eastern Virginia, the D.C. Baltimore area, up to eastern PA, New Jersey, portions of Connecticut and Massachusetts. We're going to see a milder surge of air on Sunday afternoon ahead of that strong cold front. The right-hand side forecast temp anomalies for next Monday, 10 November. We're talking temperatures ranging anywhere from 12 to as much as 22 degrees Fahrenheit above normal from California, Nevada, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, western Colorado, as well as Arizona. And look at the purple colors now showing up on this right-hand graphic. We are talking temperatures running 20 degrees plus below normal. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, as well as eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, parts of southern West Virginia, parts of western Virginia itself, western Carolinas, 20 degrees plus below normal for high temperatures by next Monday, the 10th of November. This cold surge means business, and you can clearly see east of the Rockies, Oklahoma City, you're running 18 degrees below normal. Dallas, about 15 degrees below normal. Omaha, 13 degrees below normal. Chicago, running 11 degrees below normal. Indianapolis, 15 to 16 degrees below normal for high temperatures next Monday. Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, you're all in there. Now, let's look at the more specific forecast, the next 7-day outlook for Hampton Roads, Virginia cities. For tomorrow, again, we're looking at scattered clouds. We're looking at breezy and warmer conditions. In fact, I would not be shocked if this high temperature got up to about 71 degrees tomorrow. Right now, I'm going 69 degrees and playing it conservative, but I would not be shocked with strong southwesterly winds and that warmer air advection if this did not go just north of 70 degrees. We are seeing low temperatures dropping to 51 Thursday morning. And then behind the cold front, we'll have that cold front move through Hampton Roads Wednesday night. Behind it, we'll see another great looking day, mostly sunny skies. Notice the temperature dropped 9 degrees between Wednesday and Thursday. And that is the cooler, drier air mass on Thursday behind the cold front. Temps dropped to 43 for Friday morning. And then Friday evening, we're going to have another front approach, and we may see an increase in clouds during the PM hours, afternoon and evening, high of 67 degrees, down to 56 on Saturday morning, and then look at the weekend. Look at this weekend, how mild it is. We're going to have high temperatures into the lower 70s, dry on Saturday. If you got any outdoor plans, Saturday looks good. We will see some scattered showers on Sunday as that strong cold front approaches from the northwest, but mild air ahead of that strong cold front into the low 70s. And then we drop off to 46 by Monday morning, and then look at Monday and Tuesday next week, the coldest air of the season so far for Hampton Roads. Breezy and colder on Monday, more northerly winds. We're down to 56 degrees for a high. We drop all the way down to 34 degrees. This would be the coldest morning low temperature so far this season. If it verifies next Tuesday morning, 34 degrees, scattered clouds next Tuesday afternoon, early next week. High of only 50 degrees next Tuesday. We look at some of the temperature anomalies here. This is Monday, the 10th of November on the left, and this is for Tuesday, the 11th of November. This would be Veterans Day next Tuesday on the right. Look at the departures from normal here. 10 November on the left for the Mid-Atlantic. We have temperatures along the coastal sections, including Hampton Roads, about 7 to 8 degrees below normal for Monday afternoon. And you see the blue color goes up along the coastal sections, the Delmarva area, up to eastern PA, down to the coastal sections of northeast North Carolina. Much colder air into central and western Virginia by next Monday, the 10th of November, as well as in inland areas of North Carolina, running 10 to 12 to 13 degrees below normal next Monday afternoon. And look at West Virginia. We're talking temperatures running 15 to 20 degrees below normal, as well as parts of far western Virginia, western portions, especially the higher elevations of the western North Carolina, the Asheville area, and then below normal readings, 18 to 19 degrees below normal, eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee. On the right-hand side, now we have 12 to 15 degrees below normal for Tuesday afternoon, next Tuesday afternoon, the 11th of November. So it's looking like quite a cold Veterans Day this year across Hampton Roads. And look at much of the state of Virginia in the green coloring, generally running double digits, 10 degrees or more below normal across all of Virginia, all of Ohio, eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee. Look at North Carolina next Tuesday, well below normal. Now, quick update on some of the teleconnections to end today's video. Now, the stratospheric polar vortex update. Now, this is the forecast. This graphic is the forecast for the 16th of November, valid on Sunday, the 16th of November. Blue color on this graphic indicates colder stratospheric temperatures. Yellow color indicates warmer stratospheric temperatures, okay? Now you see the white solid lines on this graphic. They indicate the upper level geopotential heights, all right? So whenever you have a circular shape of these white lines, that generally indicates a more stable stratospheric polar vortex. Whenever the white lines become more elongated or look more stretched out, that indicates a weaker stratospheric polar vortex. So what are we looking at here? This is the forecast at 30 millibar level, well up into the upper atmosphere, okay, for next Sunday, the 16th of November. And so notice the white lines, how they're getting stretched or elongated in the eastern portions of North America, right here. This is what I want you to pay attention to, how that elongation of those white solid lines extends into eastern North America. This potentially could be a stretched polar vortex situation. And the big thing with stretching polar vortex situations, they tend to favor the coldest temperatures east of the Rocky Mountains. All right, so we have to watch this. This happened 9 to 10 times last winter, where the vortex would stretch and elongate itself basically down to eastern North America, and that's when we had very cold air masses come down in the eastern portions of North America and the United States. And then when it would contract back up towards the pole, it would be briefly milder, and then it would stretch again and get colder again in the eastern U.S. So let's keep an eye around the mid-month time period, and let's continue to watch this polar vortex. Looking at the AO Arctic Oscillation update, the EPS forecast model is up on the upper left, and then the Arctic Oscillation, this is the Jeffs V12 forecast on the lower right. Look at the solid green line in both cases. All right, solid green line is the average of 50 perturbed members here in the upper left on the EPS. And then over here, the Jeffs, the GFS ensemble, the green solid line represents the average of 30 perturbed members, okay? Regardless of how you slice this, the Arctic Oscillation is going to be dropping negative. And it looks pretty significantly negative from the 8th all the way really all the way through the 19th on the EPS on the upper left. Look at the Jeffs here in the bottom right. The AO goes negative from the 7th and lasts all the way to about the 14th and 15th of November. So we're looking at a negative AO period coming up. What about the NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation Update? We're also looking at negative NAO, generally from the 6th of November. Look how deeply negative the NAO becomes around the 11th and 12th of November, according to this model here in the upper left, the EPS, the European Ensemble. And then we see a slow recovery with the solid green line, but it still remains slightly negative all the way through the 19th of November. The Jeffs V12 NAO forecast with 30 return members out through 20 November. Look how we have the green line drop off into these negative values, right? Negative territory, negative NAO. And both models are in agreement of the most drastically negative NAO around the 11th to the 12th of November. And that would coincide with that very cold air, that deep trough digging into the eastern U.S. Slow recovery on the Jeffs model of the NAO by the 14th and 15th, closer to neutral conditions. What about the Mann-Julian oscillation update, MJO update? We have the Jeffs V12 that starts today, the 4th of November, and the forecast goes out to 18 November. The black line on this graphic on the left indicates where the MJO has been. The red line and the blue line indicates the forecast. So notice now we're at the 4th of November now. So generally the Jeffs V12 is showing the MJO in phase 5. And then the MJO is forecast to work its way into phase 6 and into phase 7 by the 18th of November. Over here on the right-hand side is the European MJO forecast starting today, the 4th of November, with the forecast out to the 18th of November. Again, the black line indicates generally where the MJO has been. Now look where it's hanging out right now. The MJO is hanging out in MJO phase 5, and then it works its way into MJO phase 6 between the 7th and the 13th of November. And then it works its way into MJO week, MJO phase 7 by the 18th. So here's the thing. With the MJO working its way the second week here of November into phase 6, right? In both models, you see it clearly. My question really, that's been really in my mind is, does the strongly negative AO and the strongly negative NAO overpower the milder phase 6 effects of the MJO for the eastern U.S.? I believe it's going to. And then we move into MJO phase 7 in both models by the 18th of November. All right, this is where you find me, Spot on Weather, Weebly. Just do a search in the Google search engine. Just type in Spot on Weather, Weebly, and then you'll see that first link is my website. Here is more specifically the website. I do post daily forecast updates for Hampton Roads on X. My handle is EulerMatthew4, and on the Facebook page, this is where you can find me. All right, that wraps up today's daily video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping to crank out a teleconnections discussion video here in the next couple days. Another absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous early November day across the area. Cool temperature, slightly below normal. Our normal temperature this time of year is about 66 degrees for Hampton Road cities, and we're just slightly below that level. Expect another very cold night tonight, overnight. We have ideal radiational cooling for Hampton Roads, clear skies, light winds. So tomorrow morning is going to be a very cold start once again. And then we will have a much wider spread between that morning low tomorrow and the afternoon high. All right, that's all I got for now, everybody. Until next time, take care and God bless everyone.